What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know I'm late, but let's get into it. It picks up where it left out, which was Tiffany picking a fight with Kiki about how she came onto the show and did not treat her cousin the way that she should have. You came in loyal to Mel, you didn't come in loyal to Tisha. But Tiffany's only getting one side of everything. She doesn't know the whole story, don't know the whole history between Kiki and Tisha. And that's what Kiki told her. You don't know what you're talking about. And Tiffany agreed. She don't know what she's talking about. She doesn't have a big family. She doesn't have any siblings. So yes, Tiffany, don't know, don't speak. Okay? You don't know how it is to be around a lot of family. You don't know how it is to have arguments with family members. You don't know what it's like. So you should stop. Stop talking. Okay? And knowing that Tiffany was being messy, I didn't like that she picked this moment to be messy and that she's pregnant. So, of course, everybody's trying to calm Kiki down for not going after a pregnant woman. But let's go on Tiffany on how she knew that she was pregnant and she had no business of picking a fight with Kiki. Because at that moment, all I'm seeing is you got a whole bunch of mouth, you got a whole bunch of energy towards me. And all I'm seeing is I'm seeing you. I'm not seeing you in a predicament where you could give birth at any moment because you come with the energy that you trying to check me on something. So I'm gonna give you that same energy back, and that's what Kiki did. She gave her that same energy, regardless if Tiffany was pregnant, because Tiffany didn't realize she was pregnant when she wanted to be messy by bringing Mel into it to get a reaction, and now going after Kiki. So trying to calm Kiki down, Tisha had to grab Kiki's face for her to be calm. And I feel like Kiki probably is getting tired of repeating herself, you know? Now Stormy is getting into the conversation to plead her case that her issue with Kiki was that Kiki didn't shut the conversation down when Stormy brought up the infidelity rumors about Marceau, right? And I feel like Stormy, you're telling Kiki she should have shut it down when you were the one who was so eager to bring it up in the first place. You wanted to be messy because you came on the show being a fan. You heard all the rumors, the allegations about Marceau, and you connected the dots like a lot of people did. When that picture was posted, it was a side of deflection, so it could be off on Marceau and onto Maurice's situation. Hence, why Kimmy did not want to go into any further. That's why. So to me, it was too much for me the way that Stormy want to say that Kiki validated the rumor. She didn't validate anything. We're gonna go off of what we've already been seeing since the show started. Okay. Now to say that she validated was a bit of a stretch. Now, it pretty much put everything on Kiki's fault. The fact that Stormy wanted to be told to shut the fuck up and not keep going is like, really, Stormy? You wanted to be told to shut the fuck up. Would you have done it? Would someone have told you, Stormy, shut the fuck up? That's my cousin. You would have like been cool, or would you have had an issue that someone came at you with that energy? Like, make that make sense. And then Peep, you wanted Kiki to shut the conversation down. But in this moment, you brought it back up, and Tisha even told you, we're not talking about it. We squashed it. We're moving on. We're not talking about it. But you kept on cutting Tisha off by saying, no, we're not talking about it. I get that. But my point is, I said you said enough. And if you thought I said enough, you should have told me to shut the fuck up. I felt like, Stormy, why are you cussing? Why are you yelling? Why are you telling a grown ass woman to tell you to be quiet? When you should have just been taking accountability that, listen, Tisha, I know you thought your cousin was saying something, but she really didn't. I'm the one who brought up the picture, the rumors, because I wanted to know. I was being nosy, but you didn't do that. Now, I get it. We're still talking about this damn Christmas party that's 2 years old at this point. But I feel like this particular piece should have been exposed on that season, but it didn't. It got swept under the rug based off of why Kiki's on the show and how can Mel do this. It all landed on Mel's shoulders and Kiki's shoulders. Everything that surrounded the picture and the Scots were completely to the side. So I don't like that. And we're getting this now because everything else spiraled out of control last season. So there wasn't anything else to discuss this. But now, since there's nothing else going on, we're going to have to talk about things that we didn't get a chance to talk about. But I don't like the fact that Stormy is just cussing and cursing and being loud at a spa. A spa is supposed to be peaceful, quiet, serenity, and you yelling, yelling, yelling. Now, Melody was not enjoying the vibes. This is not good. It's not giving positive energy. And knowing how people like to mess up a good spa day, we go back to the first season when Tisha and Kimmy had an issue with Melody based off of how she is acting in her career or how she's acting in general. You know, they call her the post queen. Remember that from the first season? And this scene was just too much for me. I felt like nothing got resolved. There was no listening. There was no understanding. It just led off of Stormy just yelling and cursing. And nobody gave her that energy to begin with. Kiki didn't have that energy towards her. She didn't. Stormy did. And I want to know why. So Mel is bowing out gracefully. She don't want to be part of this mess. She casually gets out, puts her clothes on, comes back in and says, guys, I'm going to go. But I don't think this is the energy we should exude. I think we should have another way of communicating and agree to disagree so it doesn't look like a bunch of this. Stormy thinking that she's the voice of reason by saying that, oh, no, it's good. I think this is good. Tiffany, you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? I'm not mad. I think this is good because sometimes people can bottle things up when there should be a time to have a proper conversation and it doesn't go productive. Mel said, well, if you think that this is productive, then go ahead. That's your opinion, but I don't think it was. And when Stormy threw out that this is productive, that was shade towards Mel. Because Mel didn't give Stormy the proper conversation about how Mel can disconnect from her and are they friends or do they have any issues. That was Stormy's way of saying, see, Mel, this is how you talk. This is how you get down to nitty gritty. But I don't think this was the right way to go about it to me, Stormy. This was not a good setting for this. The situation had already heightened up from the beginning, so no. And Melody said, bye-bye, I'm gonna go. And Tisha thought that this was good. This is the group coming together and moving forward. I'm with Kiki. She said, I'm not feeling no resolve at all. And I didn't feel no resolve either. All it came from was everybody fussing at her and everybody yelling back and forth. I didn't hear no understanding. I didn't hear no reason. I didn't hear no, okay, I get it. I didn't hear none of that. So all I'm seeing is Stormy not taking accountability that she wanted to be messy and bring up the rumors that was circulating the streets and just blamed it on Kiki for not shutting it down. No, I'm not going to do that. And the whole point of it was all Kiki said was, I'm not the main one that was talking. That was her point. It wasn't what you said, Stormy. It was the fact that it wasn't what you said. It was the fact that you added to the situation. You added to the conversation too. You started the conversation about the rumors, which led to Mel asking Kiki a question. It connected it from you starting it to Kiki answering the question. That's all Kiki's point. It wasn't what you said. That's not the specifics. It was, I'm not the only one that was talking. That part for me. And I also felt like Tisha allowed for Tiffany and Stormy to get out their frustrations about how Kiki wasn't as a loyal family member as they thought she should have been to Tisha. But until Tisha saw that they were going down the infidelity route, that's when she wanted to say something. So she wanted Tiffany and Stormy to come at Kiki so Kiki could be the fault. Kiki could take the blame for everything as if Tisha didn't do anything wrong. Because like I said, they don't know the full story. Tisha was the one who betrayed Kiki first by telling her personal business to Melon Martell that she used to be a drug addict, but that wasn't her place to do that. So he came on the show to get her lick back. That's what it was. But I'm gonna move on. Martell is at the batting cages wearing his hoochie daddy shorts. Maurice and Marceau are meeting up with him, and Sheree was calling, but he told her, I'm hanging out with the fellas. Maurice is making fun of Martell because he didn't get a chance to walk Millie to her car that was literally right in the front. Then he wants to make up this stupid ass excuse about how I'm a gentleman that's a mother of my 4 kids. I gotta make sure she's safe. Nigga, you're not a gentleman. How are you a gentleman when you're trying to take her kids away from her? That's not a gentleman, but okay. And Maurice is telling him, make up your mind, sir. Okay, because they're just having a full-on conversation about where he's at. He dating? Is it serious? What's he doing? Marceau said he could date. He's enjoying himself. He ain't got to lock nothing down right now. But Maurice is trying to tell Marceau and Martell he needs to make a decision and fix it because he's now triple-minded. Okay, he got too many things on his mind that he is not at a place where he can actually move on right now. And when he said triple-minded, that means he's trying to juggle with having 3 women fight for him, and it's not working in his favor. He keeps on playing games with Ariane, dangling, Sheree in front of her so she can have a reaction. She can go on her YouTube trying to dangle Sheree in front of Melody. She's not biting, which making him feel like I gotta keep up with the pretense of being with her because I want Melody to feel the way that I'm with another woman, but it's not working. And then in the confessional, while he is enjoying the play in the dating field, he's just, enjoying himself, single life. I'm just taking my time, having some fun, but then wonders why everybody is so concerned about who he's dating because you made it so obvious that you're dating Sheree. Both you and Sheree paid for pictures for us to find out that you guys are dating. But I know it's a publicity stunt for storylines for both of y'all. And you want someone to give you the attention of dating somebody of a different celebrity status than yours. It's all a personal gain for you. It's a benefit for you. That's what it is. Moving on. But the scene was boring. Seeing them at the batting cages, knowing that none of them could hit, and then talking about how he has a party coming up for Upscale Magazine, and that he's looking to find a venue. Sheree will be attending. Now, then it led to him talking about how the last 2 years have not been good to him in the public eye. There weren't any favors of support for him, but now it's coming back. So there are some people supporting him, giving him grace and support. Pygmies, okay? Women and men who think that what he did wasn't wrong, the way he's acting isn't wrong, just giving him all that grace and support and just saying Mel is doing too much, Mel is being bitter, all this and that and the third, right? Now, struggling to be a better person and how you don't want to spoil your children. We get more about the Scott's background with their father. Their father was a 28-year-old man who fathered 8 children and worked both jobs, putting food on the table. And they're just like, man, this guy's a hustler. I'm trying to listen and pay attention. And Martell pretty much had the same thought process as I did. Didn't y'all father leave y'all? Didn't he bail on y'all? I said, right. Didn't he leave y'all? Left y'all poor to struggle? But they were like, no. We just figured out what he did. He was hustling, making sure he did things right. So I can tell in this conversation, Marceau is trying to guide the conversation that doesn't put their father in that narrative. He left his kids to suffer. He left his kids to struggle, and their mom having to work multiple jobs and having their children pick up the slack and ended up working at a younger age. So I get lost whenever they speak. I feel like, are you guys giving excuses as to why your father left y'all to struggle? Because to end it with, we said we were poor, but we didn't find out we were poor until high school. And we weren't even poor. We just didn't have enough money. Same thing. If you're having to work at a young age to put food on the table, then you're poor. I'm trying to remember all those times where they talked about their struggle, how they were on the opposite side of the tracks and they had to work to get to where they were. I'm confused. Like, I'm so lost. So I felt like Marceau's giving excuses and cutting Maurice off by how the actual experience it was growing up that their father left them to struggle to fend for themselves. And all of a sudden, you guys are like, we weren't poor. We didn't have enough money. Okay. You trying to sell us a picture? We're not buying it. Are you guys pretending that you guys were poor and you want sympathy? Let me know. But it just surrounded looking at Martell coming around to being divorced. Okay, he's coming around to being divorced. He's letting go and he's showing how to be the better man, be a better father, and possibly be a better husband to another person. Now, looking back on him wanting to be a better father, he said, I want more children. I have a big family. I have a lot of kids and I want more. Maurice said, you did say you want more children. So have you and Sheree talked about having more children? He said, yes, we did. We did. She said she would be okay with that. Okay with what? Having what? More children? Sheree ain't having any more kids. Sheree is finally happy that she ain't got to worry about no children. Her kids are grown and gone, doing their own thing. She got her body right where she wanted to be. She ain't thinking. Sheree is selfish, period. She ain't having no more children. I know who is eager to have more children for you, but I know you want to go down that rabbit hole again. So moving on. And then how are you going to figure out how to have more children if you can't even afford to take care of the ones you already have? Make that make sense for me. Anyway, moving on. Marceau is having a business conversation with Gino, his new business partner, and they will be overseeing a project together. They'll do a salary and then have a profit share. Now, Gino tells him we're dating. We're entering it at a dating status, seeing if we're a good fit and seeing if we can make this a permanent relationship. Hearing that type of analogy of how business partners can come together, Marceau talked about he was dating Tisha for a month before he said, I'm going to marry you. Then brag about how they made 17 years. So I know a good thing when I see it. Gino's experience is way more than Marceau's. Gino has experience of working with bigger construction companies, way bigger. Now, to have a lot of experience working for a big company to move to a smaller company, what was the change for? Does he want to see a difference in how a small company can act like big companies? And that's what he told Marceau. How can we move in a way big businesses move? Make big decisions, make risky decisions. You know what I'm saying? Operate like we are a big business. And that's where Tisha can come in. She can look over the expense reports, look over the financials, and see if we can like finalize everything. And she can oversee what we can do, what we can't do, what products we can do a bid on. And I feel like she can be a great asset to the company. Now Marceau, the music solidified everything from Marceau's face. That he don't want to hear nothing about Tisha playing a part in any of the business, because Marceau doesn't see Tisha as a asset. He doesn't see her as a intricate part of the business. All he sees her as my wife and the mother of my children. That's all I see. He don't want to add business to that. So he's trying to figure out how to balance, building a life with her and now building a business. So he admits he don't communicate when things go wrong in the company. If there is some bad news he doesn't want to tell her, he hides that from her. Concerned that she looks over the financials, maybe he doesn't want to let her know that the financials could be a little bit off. And maybe she'll have a way of figuring out where the money is going. And that's when he'll have to come clean about what has he been spending, what has he been doing with the money. Like he said, for an example, I don't want to be where I didn't tell her that we had a bad month of getting any projects done. That means that the household will have to stretch the money. We'll have a little bit of a hard time paying the bills this month. And I don't want her to worry about that. So then talking about that and the burden of the business, and want to make sure the business is always bringing money so she doesn't have to worry about the bad things. But I'm always trying to understand, you guys made 17 million last year, right? You told Courtney you made 17 million. So why is it that you chose to make an example that I don't want to have to tell her that we could have a bad month of having no business at all and we're going to have to make the money stretch? So are you guys not financially stable, or have you guys not reached a certain financial standpoint? Because a lot was explained this episode that maybe you guys are not as rich as you guys say y'all are, or y'all not as financially stable. Like, what's happening there? Gino tells him, as the man, you have to let her know what's going on and just bite the bullet. Explain to her what's going on. If she's mad, you can't control that, but at least let her know there's a plan. That's all you have to do. Okay? Because you are blessed to be in a situation where you can bring your wife on. You can allow for her to understand how things work and that she can play a good role versus what he did. Gino did not involve his wife into the business. He tried to put her on the shelf, put her in the box that you worry about the household, the kids and everything else, and I got the business. And it led that gender role energy. And he didn't want to do that gender role. Gender roles are outdated. I should have treated my wife more of an equal, more like a partner, like a teammate. And he said that my grandfather told me I'm raising wolves, not sheep. You have to give her the opportunity to come in, make a mistake, learn, and do better and grow. Because if she doesn't know how things work around here or learn how the company runs and you get hit by a bus, what she's going to know how to do? Nothing. It'll fall on her, and she has no clue how the business works, has no clue how you get the contracts, you get the projects going, you finalize the materials, you finalize the hiring. She has no idea how the basic rundown of how the business works if you don't want to include her in the business. You have to prepare her to learn how the business works, because what happens, God forbid anything happens to you, she's going to have to come in and take control of everything. And you don't want her out here like a deer caught in headlights, not knowing what to do in her own company. Like, what's the purpose of her owning a huge percentage of the company if she don't know how the company is ran? That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I get protecting her from the bad things on her to worry, but that's going to happen either way. You shouldn't hold the stress of worrying how the business is going to go if you don't include her. She can help you lighten the load, help you lighten the burden, and y'all can work together. That's how it should work. It's a partnership. You're not in this by yourself. You know what I mean? So of course, Marceau is stunned that another man told him, "You need to treat your wife better. You need to implement your wife more into the business. She could be a great asset. She could be a great part of the company. Include her in the meetings. Include her in how things are working around here. And as much as you're trying to be a great helpmate, you could be hindering her from learning how the things go, learning how the ropes work." But this isn't the first time that Marceau had an epiphany about how he is treating Tisha. Either it's marriage wise or business wise. He always has an epiphany that the way he's moving like a husband is a good thing, but it's not. It's a bad thing. And he always says, "I should do better. I should treat her right. I need to focus on doing this instead of doing that." He says it all the time. But he doesn't show any action behind it. So I can never believe if he really is absorbing the information and will implement action behind it. And he says that Tisha only knows his thoughts as a husband, but don't know his thoughts as a businessman. I'm not too sure if she even knows your thoughts as a husband, because you don't inform her about anything when it comes to the marriage. You just do things, she just accepts it. So it's both. You don't include her in the marriage. You don't include her in communicating on how things are going to go. And you don't communicate her about how the business is going to go. So it's both. But moving on. Kimmy. Kimmy invited Tisha to the office to let her know that there is a free office space for her to use because Marceau kicked her out of her own office. And the space is Maurice's podcast equipment. When did Maurice get a podcast? Does he have a YouTube? What's the podcast called? So she could use that space for the meantime until Marceau actually builds her office for her. Don't know how long that's going to be, but the main objective of having Tisha over is to let her know that Melody is coming over because she is opening up the conversation that she's happy to see Tisha and Melody move forward. It was a huge step of Tisha to invite Mel to a spa day. Melody agreed to come. She came in good spirits. Yes, it got a little bit heated between Kiki and Tiffany. Tish talking about how she had to calm Kiki down because it was getting a little loud. And of course, I can't have her come at a pregnant woman. That wasn't right. But Kimmy said, I mean, it's not just her. Tiffany had to get off her chest too. She wasn't innocent in this. She's the one who started it. So I love the fact that it's not only Kiki who took it there. Tiffany was the one who brought it up. Tiffany was the one who came with that energy first. And Kiki gave her the energy back. There it is. She wasn't thinking about herself in a situation. Tiffany was not thinking about how she's pregnant. Decided to involve herself in a mess, in a situation that had nothing to do with her. But I don't know what world Tisha is, but she's feeling like everything at the spa was good. The group was moving forward, and I think that everything could be going at a good pace. But I don't think that they gave Kiki enough room to explain herself. But considering that it was nice to see Tiff, Tisha, and Melody in good standings, maybe we can have an actual conversation about moving forward from that moment on. I don't know if Tisha is moving forward because we are just coming off of Tisha calling Mel a dark soul. You know what I'm saying? So Mel is optimistic. She's positive about this meeting, but it's kind of crazy how we're having this sit down when 4 months ago I was told I had a dark soul. And I don't know if a dark soul could be cleansed out in 4 months. I don't know. And I don't know either. So I'm just kind of like, I wish there was a earlier conversation about the reunion itself, then segue into trying step by step to move forward. Because how could we just jump from, you have a dark soul, you are a devil in sheep's clothing, to, I think we should move forward. You want to come to a spa day? Come on. That's too much time passed without any conversations, without any talking, no resolvement. Like, really? Okay. So when Mel came, Tisha wasn't happy. And seeing that there have been a couple of times when we've shown positivity and moving forward, I think that we should implement that a little bit more. So Tisha talked about how people can have different types of communication styles. They can agree to disagree. And we're communicating, which is good. And Mel talks about we're showing the desire to move forward, but I think what we're missing is a respect level of things. So we can get to where the respect was disrespected, we can implement that to moving forward and finding a different way to respond to things, even if you don't agree to it. So Melody suggested hosting a high tea and have someone come and give them etiquette styles of expressing their thoughts respectfully, even if it's a difference, but it's still expressed differently, respectfully, so everyone can get their opinions, get their point across without it getting disrespectful. So Tisha said, I think that's a good idea. A lot of people got a lot off their chest at the spa event, so I think they would receive the invitation to a high tea in good spirits. Again, I don't think that everyone got a lot off their chest. I just think it was expressed but not resolved. And this is a good idea. The group moving forward with one another, they could be reaching that point where they can all come together for an event where there's no issue, there's no tension. And of course, Tisha wants everything to be in good standings for this business expo that she wants to do. So I did say before, I wish there was a sooner scene of having a full on sit down to discuss everything that came about in the 6 seasons of being on this show. That's a lot that's been said on social media on the show that everyone should take a tag of accountability. Everyone should pick up a ticket for accountability. Everyone. I know Mel has taken accountability. Kiki has taken accountability, but I'm waiting for Tisha to accept full accountability to the part that she played in. And the purpose of the Black Business Expo is because they are the core people of the group, that they want to be a pillar of the community. They want to expose more Black businesses on how to showcase they are successful. They have licenses, they have practices, they have degrees. You know what I'm saying? We can implement so much more information to the Black community, and that's what we should strive to be. Now, Marceau and Tisha are back at the house. He is cooking her breakfast, and he has an ice pack through his jeans. Don't know how he got it through his jeans. I wish y'all room was a little bit clean, and I'm still wondering about the living situation I've been hearing about. The Scott Manor is still building. There hasn't been no upgrades, and then I'm finding out that you guys are renovating a townhome that wasn't supposed to be a permanent living situation to now move into an apartment. I hope that's addressed this season because I have questions. But anyway, she's just talking about the Black Business Espo. You see how she can't say X Espo? She puts the S in Expo. Just talking about presenting to the original comeback group, the core six of them, and learn how to express their mistakes and learn where they were successful. And Marcel talked about the best skill set that he learned is how to form a team. And I felt like you want to brag about how you learn how to form a team, but yet you're not presenting yourself to be a good teammate to your wife. So I'm going in and out of this conversation because I'm just hearing Marcel dress up as, I did not want to implement you into the business because I didn't want you to be a part of it. I didn't want you to see that I could be messing up the business, but I'm acting like I'm protecting you from the business. And with the realization that he wasn't being a team player and Gino had to tell him he's blessed to have a wife that he's in business with, he's blessed to implement her more. They could be a great team. They can make this a big business, a huge success. Let her know how the business works and make sure you put her skills into good use. If she's looking at the financials and the money, she can obviously oversee what kind of projects we should be striving to get. We could implement big projects that we can make more connections and more contracts so we can have more money coming in. So when he dressing up in different ways by saying, I did not include you in the business as I should have. I did not want to communicate with you on how the business was going because I don't see you as someone that should be in business. I see you as someone who's my wife and the mother of my children. That's all he was saying. I mean, Marceau has had this misogynistic mindset since season 1 when he made fun of Tisha having a real estate license and said having a real estate license isn't a career. He said that. So now, saying how if I'm a shepherd, I'm looking at you as sheep, which means that I can't look for you to be strong when I want you to be strong. Something like that. And I think I'm doing the right thing by protecting you, being the provider. I'm not trusting my wife can handle things. I'm not trusting my wife can put her best effort on things. I'm not trusting that she actually has good ideas. I'm not trusting of that. I'm not trusting that my wife could actually be a great asset to the company. So him realizing this the whole time, trying to hide her from the business, not communicate with her how the business is going. I should not have been a good teammate. But I said that before. Marcel always has this moment of clarity, moment of epiphany, that he doesn't include his wife in things that she should know. He doesn't tell her things that she should know because he wants to protect her from it. But then when it happens, she's looking stupid. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't see Tisha any more than a wife and a mother. He doesn't see she could be a great boss woman, a great career woman. She can. But Tisha eats it up. That all I want is for you to understand that I can be a helping hand. I'm more than just your wife. I'm more than just a mother. I can actually do this. But you're not trusting that I can. But I don't want Tisha just eat up with him saying, I want us to be better. I'm going to do better. I want him to show action. I want her to wait until he's actually implementing what he's preaching. He practices what he preached. He needs to practice that you want us to be better. You want to be more of a partner. You want to treat me as an equal. I'm going to need you to show up. Communicate on how things are going. Communicate with me about who you hiring. Communicate about what projects you trying to do, what network, what contracts, so I can know, so I can implement on how we can actually plan and strategize how we can move forward. Because I don't want her to just accept it. Because I feel like Marcel's been doing that all this time, telling her what she wants to hear, but not showing it. I don't want her to just constantly be, what's the word? I can't find it. Just taking in with the words, but not feeling the action behind it. That's what I don't want. But I'm moving on. It ended with Tisha inviting the original comeback group to a meeting that they arrived 45 minutes late. Okay. Martell came in with a tight suit, need to unbutton that button. Melly coming in looking fabulous. He's feeling away. But of course, he makes a statement that he wants to come in being respectful, being peaceful, not to let their personal issues come out, dealing with the course and everything. And I feel like, why do you have to keep on defending your stance about how you're trying to come in being all nice and cool and calm and peaceful? You don't want no problems. But yet, you still be the one starting problems. Melly's in no shape and form trying to have an argument with you or have anything to do with you. You're trying to take her kids from her. So you are not giving any, no. I'm not even about to know. Because it's that narrative that he always wants to say, I'm coming in peace, but she always has a problem. That's no. Nobody believes you, and I'm not buying it. Like I said, it's not a good business to arrive 45 minutes late to a meeting you set up. So Tisha notices that Melody looks very happy. She's all bubbly. She said, you got a date or something after this? Melody said, I do what? You have a date? Oh, no, honey, it's called being happy. It's called being happy. Now, they bring up that word on the street. Melody has a mystery man, and that's why Martell is feeling away. Yeah, he could be feeling away that she could have another man in her life. But the main tension, this man's trying to take her kids from her. That's the main tension right there. That's the main energy. So during the presentation, I wish that Tisha didn't have her back towards everybody, because if you know the purpose of what the Black Business Expo is, you could have had bullet points. You could have memorized and summarized the entireness in a simple words. So, like I said, she could have had a simple bullet point of what the purpose of the Black Business Expo, pretty much a collective, an event, a collective group of people hosting multiple events that showcase how businesses of different fields could be implemented. Maybe have a panelist included so people can instruct, teach on how to have a successful business. Now, knowing that the comeback group was not a success, they did not reach as far as they wanted to when it comes to bringing back their community, exposing more Black businesses. The multiple arguments, disagreements, nothing got accomplished. So this is pretty much a presentation of giving that another chance. So the meeting went well, I guess. Kimmy has the question, what is the objective of the event? Is it just your event, or are we coming to participate? Tisha said the vision came to her, but like Kimmy said, okay, I get the vision part, but all I'm hearing is Marcel and Tisha trying to sell the comeback group to the original comeback group. And again, is this just your event, or we just coming in as a group thing? Because the way that the picture on the PowerPoint ended with Tisha and Marcel being the face, hence why Kimmy's asking the questions. Is it just your event? Now, I don't think Tisha understood that question or didn't know how to answer that question because she jumped the gun with, I just want to kickstart it because we have multiple things that we always talk about, we brainstorm, but we never implement it. And who knows, maybe this could be in multiple states. Tisha, you jumping the gun. Nobody agreed because we're still talking about what is the purpose of us being here. Why are we here? So again, this could be something that's really nice, that's really good. You want to implement where there's different speakers, different panelists involved, but it's a comeback group like owning of the group or owning of like taking part ownership of everything. And Mel said, I love the name, I love the concept, but what is your budget? Like, what is your fees? Like, how much are you going to pay for your speakers and your panelists to come to the event? She answered, she didn't answer the question. She talked about where she wanted it, but then said she wasn't going to have an entry fee and that she wasn't going to pay none of the speakers or panelists. So you want a free event where they come in, get free knowledge, and the people who giving the free knowledge shouldn't get paid? How? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You should pay people for their time if they're giving knowledge and information and advice about how to conduct a business, how to start a business, how to, start a career in a different field, in a different type of job, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. So she did say there's a conversation about being paid. We can implement that, but then I'll have to implement an entry fee. So knowing that that's the part of the conversation that needs to be had about what the fee is, Martell is whispering to Marceau about ask Mel what her fee is. And Mel said, don't ask what my fee is. That's none of your business. Who I give my private email to conduct my fee, that's who knows. It's none of your business what my fee is. Period. Kimmy had another question. Again, what is the overall marketing objective? How do you guys want to spread the word of this event? Social media, newspaper, personal invitation to multiple businesses? How you want to do it? Marceau said both personal social media and business business social media. Melody again. So how much y'all pay for post? I don't think they thought ahead, or I don't know if Marceau did not prep Tisha enough for her to answer these questions. Did she just assume that they will be on board with it just by hearing the idea and not knowing the full rundown of how everything was gonna go? So yeah, I mean, Melody said she loves the concept. The idea is great, but just because me and Tisha are in a cordial place doesn't mean I'm doing anything for free. I'm not doing her any favors. And I don't know if she thought that she would do a favor because I feel like it's been too many seasons. Almost everybody makes a lot of money on this show. So nowhere in Tisha's mind should she expect for anybody to do anything for free. But Mel said, you know what I'm saying? I have contracts when it comes to my speaking engagements. I have a contract when it comes to me being a part of a panel, and I have a contract if I'm being paid to post a certain event. Now, teachers, I don't know if you can afford Mel, but hey, at the end, if you can't afford me by what you make, then have a sponsorship. Have a sponsorship to reimburse the cost of how the event is, reimburse the panelists and the vendors and all this and that and the third. That's what sponsorship is pretty much for. If you guys can't pay out of pocket, y'all can have a sponsorship cover the fees. Again, Kimmy has another question concerning what Melody just asked about the financial aspect of everything. Say you do have a sponsorship. What's the whole reimbursement? People who's going to speak, or just you and Tisha get the whole 100,000? Marcel wasn't going to pay or charge anybody, but I think use Black as the financial backing of the event. But how you come into a meeting without having all of the prepared answers for questions? Like, you thought everybody would say yes by just the idea and not have to get down to the nitty gritty. Who's paying for it? Who are you paying us? What are we doing? Because I'm not about to give you my network, my information, my social media platform for you to use for your benefit, and I don't get nothing out of it. So Marcel's trying to hurry up and toast to everything, and it's like, what are we toasting? Are we toasting the idea of a Black Business Expo? Cool, but what is the purpose of it? Why are we here? What do we have to do? That's what's missing. So Kimmy needs a lot more clarity before she does anything. I'm not involving myself in nothing if I don't know what I'm doing and if I'm paying for something and I'm going to be reimbursed for my time. So I feel like Tisha did not have any prepared answers for the questions. And either Marceau set Tisha up to fail, or she didn't realize that she would be asked these kind of questions. Because she ended up saying that, well, I'm glad we have this strategy meeting now because you guys ended up bringing up questions of things we never thought about. So, Marceau, I mean, because it's kind of like, why are we here? I mean, if you just want us to be a part of it, then just let us know what we gotta do. We ain't gotta have multiple meetings. If you just want us to be a part of it, just let us know what roles we gonna play, and we just gonna do that part and meet you at the event when it's time. But Marceau says that you can have as much involvement as you want or little involvement as you want. Which one is it? If you want us to be on board, what role do I have to play? And if I'm going to be paid for the role that I'm playing? You're not explaining what everyone's position is. You're not explaining what's the purpose of it. So again, trying to hurry up and toast with chocolate in the bottle. Either it's not selling as much because I understand. Put your product out there. Make sure your product is seen in every scene. Okay, you see how that was a play on words, a scene in every scene. But I guess it's not selling like that. I don't know. But he was ready to pop that ball so fast. But again, it's like not getting the answered questions. Just like what Kimmy said in the beginning, Mel brought up sponsorship. So say you get $100,000 sponsorship. Does that only reimburse you and Tisha, or is that just reimburse the whole process of the event? The vendors, the caterers, the speakers, the panelists. Do we get a cut from that too, or is it just y'all? Like, I need to understand. I need clarity. What is the financial aspect of everything? So I'm with Kimmy and Melody. I don't hear a plan. I just hear we want to do a Black Business Expo, but I don't know how we're gonna do it. But I want y'all to be on board. Like, it's a half-ass plan. It's not a thought-out plan. Now, Marceau was ignoring everything that Kimmy and Melody was asking to hurry up and toast and say congratulations. And that's not how this works. I don't understand why we're here. What are we toasting to? Melody was like, I'm gonna need Kimmy to just stop. Okay, let's do this toast so we can all go. I'm ready to go. Because we're not getting the answers to the question we're asking because they didn't think that far. So let's hurry up and toast so we can all leave. I'm also happy that Melly was the only one who had questions because it wasn't explained. It wasn't explained. You just presented the idea, but you didn't present everything a part of the idea. You didn't think thoroughly of how everybody else will be an asset to this. So you didn't give a rundown about how things were going to go. But next episode, we're going to get more of a conversation about different levels of how people are financially. If people have a certain budget that they want to be offered to speak, you're going to have to match that budget. And you're going to have to understand people are at different levels of wanting to get paid. But I can't wait for that rundown between Tisha and Kimmy, Marceau and Maurice. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.